Hi, I'm Mayor Parmer-Lohan, and in celebration of Pride Month, I'm pleased to invite a discussion with special guest Steve Disselhorst. Steve is an author, a leadership coach, consultant, gay dad, and serves as a commissioner on San Mateo County's LGBTQ Commission. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell me a little bit about what Pride means to you.
Yeah, I love this question because it brings up so many things sort of in my heart, right? So what pride means to me is authenticity, honesty, transparency, like full acceptance, right? And I've been out for over 30 years now, but I remember uh, like going to my first parade in 1991 and thinking to myself, like I was still very much in the closet and hiding and was afraid to be part of that experience. And, fast forward now I'm so proud of who I am. I'm so proud of my identity in the LGBTQ community. And so, to me, it's like it's the wholeness of who I am, and the fact that I live in a county now in San Mateo County, but in the Greater Bay Area that is so supportive of our community that also brings me a great deal of pride as I look across really the U.S. and then in the globe, like where pride in many cases is still an act of great bravery, right? It's an act of putting yourself at really serious risk. When I think about that and how much still needs to change in the world, it's for me, pride means how are we showing up in community and setting example for other communities across the globe in order to see and aspire to something greater.
That's fabulous. So it's taking, your unique, who you are and what makes you special and really celebrating that and being proud of it and communicating that to others.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. And a lot of the work that you've done, I would say, in the community with your book and on the commission is, I think, somewhat related to that. So could you talk a little bit about what draws you to the work that you do in service to the community?
Yeah, I would say that in all honesty with your listeners, I think initially my work was self-focused around creating more rights for myself and safety and rights um, and having all the things that I wanted that I saw my heterosexual siblings and family and friends having. So a lot of it was like I wanted all of that full equality. I think those were the initial motivations. And then when I had more of that, I think I stepped into the fact that I was going to be giving back by serving and giving back to the greater good of society. And so now what I'm drawn to the work about is really furthering LGBTQ rights, furthering, in my case, I work with a lot of companies, furthering company cultures that promote a positive LGBTQ environment. And then also the intersection of LGBTQ rights and the struggles that we face with, homophobia and how it intersects with other communities that are oppressed. So a lot of the work that I do now is really focused around how the LGBTQ community can support other communities that are oppressed and what we're seeing with racism, right? So I think that's a very important evolution, both for myself and then for the community, is really how can we support the greater needs of all oppressed people to move them forward into greater equality and equity.
Yeah, interesting. So it sounds like you've gone from a transition of, your own personal needs and trying to create a safe space for you and your family,
Yeah.
to then turning that work outwards towards being of service to the LGBTQ plus community taking those learnings now and being an ally, if you will, towards other marginalized communities that have been suffering also great indignities and injustices.
Yes,
Just
that's
just for
exactly right.
yeah,
Yeah.
just for being who they are. Okay, great. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for that. So, what actions can the community take to support those? And I'm going to say this holistically: those who are a part of what I'll call a marginalized community, or one who's not necessarily been a part of the center.
I mean, I think you brought up the word ally, and I think that being an ally is an act of visibility. It's an act of self reflection. It's an act of being brave. It's an act of stepping away from your likeness with others that are near you. And so I would say for your community and the greater community that realizing that as humans, there's more that we have more in common that we have different. And so while we may not understand the experiences of oppressed communities, that we can step into a common bond of humanity with them, and we can speak up and use our privilege and power in order to help elevate their voices. And so I think that's really important for all of the members of your community and the greater community in California. Is like, what can we do? We can witness, we can speak up, we can be in community with oppressed communities and just share that we care and concern about their plight, right? There's just so many things that we can do. And I think sometimes all it takes is for us to do is like think about our own family and our own friends and like, how do we support and love them, right? Like, how do we give support and love to the people that are around us that are similar to us? And then just saying, well, what can I do to take my likeness and the things that I do to support these people, and look at a community that's being oppressed and then go to that community and say, I'm here, I'm learning, I'm trying, I'm growing. What can I do to help in your plight?
Great, fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for the work that you do on behalf of the community. And what I hear you say is there's many ways that we can make the circle bigger, and it's simple and easy to do. It just takes a willingness to show care and concern for others.
Yes, that's right. It's sometimes it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
So as you say, simple, there are simple acts, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just really being like able to accept that like it's not going to be easy. I'm going to make mistakes, but it is an act of bravery. And it is simple acts, right? Like it doesn't
Mm,
have to be. We don't need to over engineer things, but it's really just stepping into that humanity. Yeah.
great, fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate all that you do for the community, and I wish you well and a happy Pride Month.
Thank you. Happy Pride Month to you.